Good morning, Amington Heath. Today we're going to be looking at converting time between analogue and digital. When we're converting between the two clocks, we need to understand first of all what each of these numbers on our clock represents. So you can see the 12, the 1, the 2, the 3. Each of these numbers is worth 5 minutes. So if we're starting from the 12, we're starting from that 0. Then as we count around the clock, we're counting up in chunks of 5. So when we get to the 1, we've counted 5. And then the 2 is 10, the 3 is 15, and so on all the way around the clock. So as our minute hand moves around, it's our long hand, it's counting on chunks of 5 each time. When we're converting from analogue to digital time, we're always going to think about the hour first. So if we have a look on our digital clock here, this time before the semicolon is our hours. These are always first on a digital clock. The two numbers after that colon there tell us the minutes. They tell us how many minutes have gone past after the hour. So if we have a look at our analog clock, we can see that our shorthand, our hour hand, is just past the 12. Our longer hand, our minute hand, is pointing at the 3. That 3 shows us those 15 minutes. The 12 is represented by this first number before the colon here. So the hour goes in first, the 12, and then we count round to find our minutes, and they go after our semicolon. Have a look at these two clocks here. What's the same? What's different? That's right. The main difference is there's a 0 on this clock here before the 2. And on this clock here, there's no 0. It doesn't make any difference. The time still shows that it's 2:15. So if we're converting to digital time, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to think about the hour that we're looking at. So you can almost ignore that minute hand to begin with. And you can see here our hour hand is halfway between that 2 and the 3 there on our analog clock. This means it's gone past 2 o'clock, but we haven't got to 3 o'clock yet. So the time on our hours has got to be the time that has just gone past, not the one that we're coming up to. That's a common mistake that's made. So if we have a look at our hour hand again, it's in between the 2 and the 3. It's gone past the 2, hasn't got to the 3 yet, so we haven't got to 3 o'clock yet. So the time in our hour section will be 2. Then we're going to think about our minutes. There's our longer hand. If we count round in our chunks of 5 starting at 0, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes have gone past since it was 2 o'clock. So in our minutes section here, we're going to show 30 minutes. The time is 2:30. Have a look at this one. Again, you're going to think about your hour hand first. That's our shorter hand. What hour have we just gone past? That's right, it's 4 that we've just gone past. We've just gone past 4 o'clock, and even though it's close to that 5, we haven't got there yet. So the time on the digital clock will show us 4 hours. And then if we have a look at a longer hand, our minute hand, we can see that's pointing at the 9. And if we count around, you can see that we've got round, all the way round, until we've got to 45. So our time would be 4:45. One of the biggest differences between reading as an analog clock or a digital clock is that we don't use our to and our past particularly. We say the hour and we say the number of minutes that have gone past. So rather than saying 4:45, we would say 4:45. Have a go at this one. Pause the video if you need a bit of extra time. So we can see again that our hour hand is in between the 9 and the 10. So in here, in our hour section, we're going to have 9 because we haven't got to that 10 o'clock yet. And then if we look at our minute hand, that's dead on the 5 this time, and we can count round starting at 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes have gone past. So in this section here, our minute section, we're going to put in our 25 minutes. The other way of doing this is converting from digital time back to analog time. So you do the same thing but in reverse. So we're going to have a look first of all at our hours here, and we can see that it says 08. So the hour hand is going to be near the 8. We need to have a look at our minutes on the digital clock to see how close it's going to be to the 8. So we've got 15 minutes. I know that that is a quarter of the way around the clock. So I'm past the 8, but I'm not close to the 9 yet. I've still got a long way to go before I get to 9 o'clock. So my hour hand is going to need to go, so it's moved away from that 8 very slightly, but isn't too close to the 9. Then when I come to my minute hand, which remember needs to be longer, that's going to be pointing directly at the 3 because those 15 minutes have gone past. So have a go at one more. Where do you think the hour hand is going to go? Where do you think that minute hand is going to go? Pause the video and have a little go at it. Okay, so this time, if we have a look at our hours, we've got 12 hours, and our minutes, we have 40 minutes. So we're 2/3 of the way through that hour. So my hour hand is going to be creeping towards the 1 in actual fact this time. So there we've got it, it's past halfway, creeping towards that 1. And then when I put in my 40, I'm going to count round 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It's going to be precisely on the 8 this time. And the final one, have a go at that one. So our hour hand again should have been just past the 10 this time, only 5 minutes have gone past, and our minute hand pointing at the 1 to show that 5 passed. Now if you had minutes, if you were doing 6 or 7 minutes, just like when we were reading the time, you would count the little lines that would be in between so that you can show those additional minutes, and you would have to make that time even more precise so that they were pointing at the exact number of minutes that had gone past before they'd reached the next number. The last thing to think about is this part here. Not all clocks have this, but most do, and most of them will show either a PM, like it's got on our clock here, or they may show AM. These letters rather, stand for the morning times and the afternoon times. So they show, AM shows the times that have come in the morning, so anything from midnight right through to midday, which is roughly lunchtime. PM shows us the times after lunch right through to midnight, so the afternoons and the evening times. So if you're having a look at a clock and it says 10:05 PM as our clock did here, that would mean that actually it was quite late in the evening and we're getting close towards midnight. If it had had an AM, we'd be in the morning, we'd be thinking about at school, changing for reading, bringing our maths lesson to an end. So those AM times show us the morning times. So it's important to think about those when you're adding in your times when you come to do your work. Try and show whether it's in the AM or the PM, and if it says AM or PM or it says morning or afternoon on a particular question, make sure you put in the right letters. I hope that helps. Take care all of you, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.